Welcome to Born for the Trades, a home service podcast. I'm your host, Mandeep, Bhalla, and sitting next to my co-host, Shreya,
Hi, everybody.
we have amazing guest, OG, one and only Weldon Long. Welcome to our show.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate it. Nice to see you both.
Yeah, too. Welcome.
Thank you.
Welcome to the show.
Welcome to the show.
Join us as we dive deep into the world of home service entrepreneurship, interacting with industry leaders, coaches, and entrepreneurs about their experiences, challenges, and victories. Through their inspiring stories, we hope to equip our listeners with the tools and knowledge they need to succeed in the competitive home service industry. So whether you're a seasoned pro or just starting out, tune in to Born for the Trades podcast for invaluable insight and real-world inspiration.
What do you ask you? We'll start with what are the failures you have experienced and what taught you the most from those?
Yeah, that's a great question. And it's a question I don't normally get because people want to talk about the successes.
Right.
What I will tell you is that 99% of what I've learned in my life, I learned when I fell flat on my ass. Business failure, relationship failure, whatever it might have been. In terms of business failures, I would say one of the most difficult was in 2004 to 2007. I was building an HVAC company. I had acquired 4 or 5 of my competitors. I mean, we were kicking ass, taking names. And I went out and borrowed about $2 million and bought some more competitors and built this little, group of companies together. And then 2008, 2009 hits. Housing crash.
Yeah.
Economy crashes, and I owe all this debt. And I remember I was going on a plane in 2008, going out to Maui, and had a house out there at the time. Was going out to spend some time out there. And I landed on a Saturday afternoon. And I became panic stricken because I just felt like shit's fixing to hit the fan. I got back on a plane that night, went back home and spent the rest of the weekend reorganizing the company. And not only did we reorganize the company and get as lean as we possibly could, but I'll be honest with you, that's when I really learned how to sell because we had to capitalize on every opportunity. There was a time during that mess where I had to sign a promissory note to a supplier for $500,000. I had to use my house in Maui as collateral. And I would jokingly call the guy that owned the distributorship and ask him if I could borrow the house from time to time because he owned it for those couple of years. But we learned how to sell better margins, and we paid that off in 20 months. Got it in 2010, got the company back on its feet and sold it and rocked and roll. But I learned more about margins and the importance of measuring and treasuring every sales lead through what was almost a catastrophe.
That's awesome.
When I think of you, I think of consistency because of consistency selling. And I definitely read it in the field and listened in my truck while going to calls. It really changed my life. And I want to know, how do you keep yourself personally accountable? Because it seems to be the big issue with contractors is personal accountability and consistency.
Yeah. Well, you got to set the boundaries. In my book, The Power of Consistency, I talk about building what's called a prosperity plan. The prosperity plan is my plan. That's the boundaries. That's the rails for my life. These are my key priorities. Here's what I'm going to do every single day to achieve them. And by reviewing that plan every single morning, you get kind of a report card every day, right? So as I review my plan, did I stay on plan yesterday? Did I do a good job yesterday, or did I screw up a little bit? And so it's the ultimate in personal accountability. But the key is to get clarification, extreme clarity on what you want and what you need to do to get it. Review it every single day. We don't have time to get into the neurological impact of all that, but it changes the neural pathways in your brain.
Right.
Exactly, that's what it is, right? And we create new pathways of thought, new ways of behaving, new ways of acting, new ways of creating results. But the key is to create the plan. The problem with the lack of accountability that you mentioned is that they don't have a standard to measure themselves against. If you don't have a plan, right? If I don't have a plan, then I can go do whatever I want. There's no measurement against I did a good job or a bad job. But if I've got a plan every single day and I review it every single morning, and I can look at my life yesterday, did I measure up or not? It keeps me on track. It's like in a bowling alley. They got the gutters.
Right.
It sets the boundaries on your life, and you can measure yourself every single day. And then in business and sales, we get a report card every 2 weeks. It's called a commission check.
Yeah.
And if we get that check and it's like, oh shit, that's a bad grade. If we look at oh yeah, that's a passing grade. In business, we get a report card every 30 days called an income statement.
Income statement.
If we like it, that's a passing grade. If we don't like it, that tells us we have work to do. So there's ways to measure our performance constantly in sales, as owners, as salespeople, whatever. But we got to keep ourselves accountable. But you got to have a plan. You got to have something against which you measure your behavior.
Yeah, I gotta have a plan and, making sure to review those scorecards, like, daily, weekly,
Daily.
that
Like
makes you
KPIs.
Yep.
Like when I'm
KPIs.
handing out KPIs, but what about my own?
Right, exactly.
And well done, like any kind of like, personal experience that you want to share, like related to personal accountability that, you experienced, in past, right? You want to share anything?
In terms of personal accountability,
Yes, yeah.
absolutely. I can tell you exactly when it was. It was June 10th of 1996. I was sitting in federal prison. I had already been in prison for 6 years. I was back in prison a third time, facing 7 more years. And my father died. And I had to be honest with myself and get real with myself about who and what I was. I've been bullshitting myself my whole life. I'm not that guy. I'm not this guy. I was that guy. I was that guy. That guy was in prison. I was that guy. And so coming to terms with who and what I really was, the honesty, the real honesty about my life and what I had done and what I had done to other people. And that began a process of personal accountability, of acknowledging what I had done. You and I were speaking earlier today, and one of the biggest parts of that, this personal responsibility, is understanding the impact that I had and what other people did to me. It's very easy for us to blame people. Oh, he was mean to me. She lied to me. She cheated on me. The example that I use often is when I was in prison that time, my son's mother, my wife at the time, she got a boyfriend. And at first I wanted to kill him. I didn't want to kill him. I wanted to torture him. I wanted him to suffer the hell. And I had all these crazy thoughts of vengeance and different things. And then I started reading books about personal responsibility, forgiveness, that type of stuff. And I realized one day, maybe if I hadn't gone to prison and left her with kids, she probably got a boyfriend. I saw my role. When you can see your role in what you feel offended by others, when you can see the part you play. I live by a very simple acronym, CPA. I cause, permit, or allow everything in my life that happens to me. I have some role in it. I'm never a victim. I'm never at the mercy of other people. Even if someone does something to me, then I allow it.
Right.
I did something, right? So I think that's the ultimate in maturity and personal responsibility, when you can see the role that you have in the offenses against you, right? You're no longer a victim.
What a powerhouse.
Of a true leader, true humility is like what you're talking. I see myself as I really am. And whether you're sitting in prison or you own a company currently, and maybe I'm toxic to the culture of my own company and I'm killing it myself, there's a lot of different case scenarios in which people can apply this.
That's what it's all about. Personal responsibility, as you mentioned, personal accountability. The humility thing is really important too. There's not much good about getting old. I turned 60 a month ago, and there's not a lot good about getting old. but the wisdom and humility. I'm sure young lady. Wisdom and maturity are the humility, wisdom, the only two good things about getting old, because you see the world from a different perspective.
And empathy. I think that plays.
Empathy plays right into it for sure.
Yeah, you see this and I see this, right? That's why I go to my elders and I listen to them. I have like a board of directors of the OGs in the industry that I run everything by, because I cannot see what they see. What they've been through.
How'd you get so smart so young?
From guys like you.
Follow you.
I didn't have you talk to my son.
Last question we're gonna ask you, what's the best advice you want to give it to the home service industry owners? What action they should take? Wherever they are right now.
Your thoughts are things. You mentioned it, Think and Grow Rich. When you understand the relationship between your expectations and your thoughts and your reality, you realize how important it is to control that. We get up every single day. You wake up in the morning, and how soon do you start thinking? Immediately, thinking about work, thinking about breakfast, thinking about whatever. We go through life all day thinking about this, thinking about customers, thinking about our boss, thinking about thinking. We never take the time to stop and think about what we're thinking about before we think about it. And when you understand the relationship between your thoughts and your reality, Emerson said we become what we think about all day long. When you understand that relationship, truly understand it at the deepest level, that any thought that I send out, I'm attracting, right? Nietzsche said we attract that which we fear. So that means we can even attract negative things. In the Bible, Job said that which I have feared has come upon me. So we can attract negative or positive. And when you understand and truly understand it at a core level, that my thoughts are attracting things to me for better or for worse, you understand the importance of thinking about what you think about before you think about it. That's where the prosperity plan comes in. What am I going to think about today? I got to have a plan. These are the things I'm going to focus on.
best. My head's focused on problems. They're gonna keep coming and I'm
Absolutely.
gonna see it.
Absolutely.
If I'm thinking red, I'm gonna see red cars
Yep.
all over the place,
Where
right?
your focus goes, your energy flows.
Yeah.
So that's something.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Focus is everything.
Yeah.
I think what a great share, and it was nice seeing you here. I think our friendship. I want this friendship to grow and
Stay in touch.
Thank you so
and
much.
safe
I'd like,
travels.
I'd like to do your show when we got more time.
I
Yeah,
would love
absolutely.
that.
I got-
Pick your brain so
I got-
much. I'm like
we'll-
holding
We'll
back.
do it. So just if you go to my website and
Okay.
my contact info is on there.
Sure,
We'll get in
sure.
touch. and
We'll be in
spend some time
touch, and I think we're gonna record like longer version. So that
Awesome.
will be
To
great. For,
be continued.
Let's do it.
yeah,
Hey,
to be continued.
How awesome was Deion Sanders?
Oh my God,
Was that amazing?
I got chills.
insane!
That was,
Goosebumps all the time.
So it was everything that I want to hear when I'm listening to a coach is like, toughen me up right now, get rid of the bullshit.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Make me ready to go. I feel like I want.
I never get nervous. I was nervous.
You,
That
you-
guy.
I don't
Nervous
think,
from
I
all the
don't
way
think so,
back
but
there.
you asked so amazing questions. Like, oh my God,
They just kept leading one to the other. He just, I had a bunch of notes. I don't think I even had to use them
yeah,
because he just kept leading from one topic to the next.
Yeah.
Great,
What a
great
wonderful
subject.
pick.
Great
great subject.
Yeah.
Yeah, inspired. I needed that.
Thank you both.
Thank you.